Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Behind the Mic in our MusicTown studios here on the second floor of Hockeytown in downtown Detroit on this rainy fall day. So thanks for tuning in. Do appreciate that. And as you can see, we have a full band in here, full band. So anxious to start talking to all of them. And here's some music. The sound check was awesome, so looking forward to it. So thanks for tuning in, and welcome to Nadir. Hi.
Howdy.
I'm going to turn a little bit.
How are you?
I am great. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. I know we've been trying to get you in here for a while.
Yeah, we've been trying for a while.
But you're a busy man.
It gets a little busy, yeah.
A little?
But, well,
Come on.
we're on the move. We're
yes.
on the move for
Which
sure.
is a good thing,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You are involved in so many things, and we're going to talk about a lot of these things that's happening for you. So,
Excellent.
But number one thing is your music, your band.
Yeah, and these fantastic musicians here that are with us, the family.
The family?
We don't have a band name. Maybe we'll come up with a band name by the end of the show. So.
Oh, I didn't.
But,
It
well,
just clicked. I didn't realize it.
Yeah. It's just my name, but we'll figure something out.
Well, you know, there's a lot of bands that do that. So as long as the people that are playing with you are okay with that, you know, you're the leader, right? You know,
well, yeah, they call me other names, so it's okay.
Oh, a lot of chuckling going on in there. So this band is this? How long have you been with all of these?
Oh man, we've been together like in bits and pieces for quite a while now. Some folks have been, man, Spooner's been with us for forever. Alicia left and came back, and Steve's been with us a while. Simone is in and out, and Lauren went and you know, became a Mormon for a while and then came back. So, you know, but we're family, so we stay together.
I think you got all the names in, right? Did you yes.
Alicia on keys, Steve on guitar, Lauren on the drums, Chris on bass, and Simone on vocals.
Awesome.
And dancing. Are you doing any dancing today? Oh, we'll see.
With a little space right here.
A little bit of that.
Which is on camera, so if you must,
That was an almost.
it's right here.
Kind of.
Never thought about it. Make sure we have a little dance floor
Got to.
you guys come in here to play. Well, this is cool, and so you've been doing this for quite a while. The music part of it.
Yes,
I
for sure.
mean, with all the things that you are involved with. Again, we'll get to a lot of those. But how long have you been actually doing? You know, performing and writing songs and doing that?
Forever.
Okay.
Forever. Yeah. Like from high school. So, you know, but moved to Detroit from Tennessee in 1999.
Okay.
And started playing up here, you know, around 2000, 2001-ish. You know, started playing around with some folks and finally got a record done and put a band together and have just been, you know, plugging away. Been fortunate to have some of the best musicians in town in my bands. And
Now, a lot of times people go to Tennessee with Nashville and the music scene there. You came,
Yes.
you left Tennessee,
came here from Tennessee.
Yes,
Yes.
You did the opposite.
Yes.
But you had to really get involved down there, I would think, with the music scene.
Well, you know, I was in the music scene and pretty involved there, but I was playing funk and rock and you know, Nashville, great musicians and actually it's probably a little bit better now for other genres, but to really make a living, you've got to be doing country and gospel.
Yeah.
And I've actually played more country since moving to Michigan than I ever played in Nashville. So.
You're doing anything backwards here. Which is fine.
That's my
It's
life.
working for you. You know?
That's my life. So
That's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it works better if you don't follow the norm.
Yeah.
Anyway, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I grew up listening to Detroit music, so obviously Motown and one of my very earliest memories is the comic book inside Parliament's Funkin' Telecky versus the Placebo Syndrome album, you know, with Sir Nose devoid of funk and that, you know, reading through that comic book where he dropped a J, you know, and to start the fight and you know, I was wee child when my older brother had that record and that was what I grew up on was Detroit music.
Your older brother was a big influence.
He
from what I
was. He was a
understand.
huge,
Yeah.
huge influence. Yeah, because he was the one that was listening to the P Funk and Kiss and got me into Rush later, got me into Van Halen later, got me into hip hop later. He was a huge influence. Yeah.
That's what I like about you. You've got so many. I mean, you take it all in. It's not like I'm just going, the funk. We'll just say the funk. I'm just funk, R&B, whatever you want. You say, there's so many other great musicians and music out there, and it's all influenced you.
Right.
Not just one genre. And then I would imagine, and you can tell me yes or no on this, that all of those influences really helps you to make your sound and go all the different routes. And when you're able to be so influenced with so many different genres, that really affects how you write your music.
It's
Correct?
true. It's true. And actually, so because funk is really an amalgamation of a lot of different styles, it's really easy from growing up with a funk background to gravitate into other things. So I was into Herbie Hancock, and the jazz funk kind of thing. And then, of course, my brother was also a trumpet player, so we're listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire and Chicago, which not necessarily funk, but but those influences came in, the jazz later, and then of course the rock was always around. And then when I was in East Tennessee growing up, all of my friends were rock musicians, and so that influence was huge. And actually growing up in Tennessee, the country music was everywhere. So so that Nashville songwriting style is really ingrained in the songs that I write as well.
Cool. Some good stuff that
Wow,
I mean, all those mixed together is really
yeah. You just kind of you do what we feel like doing on a given day, and we'll hear that a little bit today. We're kind of doing, I don't know, they all sound like us, but slightly different styles of the tunes that we're doing today too.
Now, I haven't had a chance to listen to every single one of your albums, but I mean, do you ever would you ever do an album that's strictly one genre and not a mix of other things?
Oh man, everybody keeps begging me to, but
okay.
I just have a hard time. I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel it
It's
that
like,
way.
no, I don't want to do that. It's like
I just don't. I don't feel it that. I feel music. And it's really hard for me to divorce myself from that hard rocking thing that I like to do. Even though we can mellow it out and do jazzy Latin kind of stuff, and so maybe, but
well, let's just say it this way. But by not doing that, you have got your own sound that people love and follow you, and it's working for you. So
I hope so.
Don't go that route anyway.
Yeah,
you don't need to.
So far we're making it. So
yeah, I mean, down the line when you're like, okay, I've got 50 albums out, I've got some Grammys, I've got this. Maybe I'll try this, one record, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
We'll
How
do
about
a Zydeco record or something?
interesting. All right, we're talking about all your influences and everything, and the mixture of all these different things. So it's time to hear a song.
Okay.
See what you're hear the what you mean by all this mixture and what you do, and let's play a song. So where is this one from?
So this is a song called Love Thang. It's on the Book of Jonah, which is our third full-length album, and it is you'll see it's a mixture of go-go and funk and rock and a little bit of our gospel thing.
Okay.
So let's
Nadir.
do it. Come on. Get it, Lauren. Come on. One, two. One, two, three. play. You gonna learn that's a losing hand. Wow, wanna be the one I fall for. You got to understand what I want. I want some truth and honesty. Whoa, I'm looking for a real love, baby. Can you be real with me? I wanna know. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. I say I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. Well, yes, I can buy you things if money makes you happy, baby. But there's something I've got to now. Would you be down with me? Would you still be on my side if my credit score is low? Wow, you really want to get to know me? Or are you just trying to pimp and hold me? I want to know the deal. Whoa, are you trying to get your groove on, girl, or do you want to make love for real? I want to know. I got to find a way, yeah, to get closer to that love thing. I gotta find a way, yeah, to get closer to that love thing. It's a love thing, girl. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. I got to find a way, hey, yeah. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. Here we go. I've got to find a way to get closer to that love thing. Oh, yes, I've got to find a way. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. Oh, yes, I've got to find a way. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. Oh, yes, I've got to find a way. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. Oh, yes, I've got to find a way. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. Oh, yes, I've got to find a way. I gotta find a way to get closer to that love thing. Oh, yes, I've got to find a way. Nice.
And she got the dancing in.
She did. Got a little bit in myself.
Woo, nice, man. I can just see with all of you, it's like you get into a zone when you start playing. I mean, really get into your zone.
Yeah, thanks.
And, I mean, enjoying it, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
We have fun. We have fun. That's one of the great things about this group of people is that we have a good time, and it just makes the music that much better.
Oh, yeah. Well, you gotta love what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That would be a drag if, we got to go play again. No,
Right,
you don't
right.
want that. No, definitely, you guys were having fun. I love when you kept getting further and further. No, it was all good. I was enjoying it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, I was watching you play too. Did you have official guitar lessons, or did you learn on your own?
I've probably had one or two guitar lessons,
That's it.
but no real. I have a real weird, unorthodox style. and it just kind of, it's just odd, and it's me, and it just kind of makes sense for me and what I do. And people ask me, "Can you teach guitar?" You don't want to learn to play the way I play. It's bad. It would be a bad situation, but it works for me, and it allows me to do what I do, and
that's
so,
all that matters.
Yeah,
At this point,
absolutely.
I mean, all the things you do. I don't know if you can fit in guitar lessons too. By the way, anyway.
That would be tough too. Yeah.
So, but it was way back when. Did your brother play the trumpet? You said, did he play guitar too?
No, my brother was a bass player.
Bass player. I'm sorry.
And so I started out as a bass player, and so he gave me hand-me-down bass, and that's how I started playing. And so my first songwriting was I had my brother's Electra bass, and I had a Roland TR 505 drum machine. And so I was writing bass lines and playing little beats in my bedroom and trying to write songs. And I was like, there's no chords. I still knew I needed chords. We had a piano, but you can't rock on a piano. Well, I can't rock on a piano. She can rock on a piano. I can't rock on it. So I ended up getting one of those Sears harmony guitars. You remember those? The little super. You had one? Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my first guitar, and I just learned how to play a couple of chords enough that I could start writing songs.
Okay.
So that's how it all started.
I mean, you have to be able to write. You can't just play. You don't want to be a cover band for the rest of your life.
I've always avoided that. I've always avoided playing in covers bands, and it's fun, and we do quite a few renditions of other people's of our favorite tunes from some other folks, but I've always avoided the cover band thing. It's one of those things that a lot of people can do and do really well and make a great living from it, and it just does always just seem more like a chore, like a job to me.
Okay.
So I've always enjoyed the creating and the writing and doing something new and improvising on the fly and that kind of thing.
I can see that would be your thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Let's talk about producing too. You do that, and I could talk about all the different things. That's another big thing that you do. Kind of separate. I mean, you produce your own stuff, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And then you produce other people's works.
Yeah, and then I've been working with I've been blessed to work with a lot of great people, especially around the Detroit area. People like Stephanie Christian, and did some engineering for Jessica Care Moore. We're working on the Blackmail album. I'm also fortunate to be involved with the Michigan State Fair, and we have a program called Michigan State Fair Superstar, and I'm one of the coaches and co-producer there. So with that, we've worked with people like the Gasoline Gypsies and Allison Albrecht and
had many of those on the show. That have been in there. Yeah,
Carly Benz, Reedy Choi. Can't forget anybody, can I? Carmen Diaz, Miss Carmen is our newest superstar, the Keynote Sisters.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
very cool.
I get to work with a lot of cool people.
Is that hard, as a musician, to kind of separate yourself? It's like, what you like and whatever, and to produce somebody. I mean, how?
Not for me, because for me, I find that it's. As a producer, you're kind of like the director of a film, or it's my job to bring that person's vision out.
Okay.
So I can separate myself and then figure out what it is that they want and what it is that they're hoping to accomplish, and then we can talk about, well, how do we do that? What do we,
What happens if they don't know what they want?
Well, then we have other things that we have to worry about. But yeah, that's part of it too. I mean, being a producer a lot of times is being a therapist. Being
therapist.
A therapist. Yeah, you gotta to get those heartfelt, artistic moments out. You've gotta go through.
That makes
sometimes
sense.
with some really personal music.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've gotta sit down and really deal with your demons.
So you have a couch in your office when you.
There's a couch there, but been on the couch, but yeah, that's part of it. You've got to work through those things, and sometimes through the music is the best way to do
Yeah.
that. That's one of the things actually Alicia does. She's working on her project is working through helping people work through trauma and working through her own issues. Issues.
She doesn't really have issues.
Issues.
Okay.
You know, but through music and like a live music setting, and it's just one of those things that is really cathartic for people and can help. It helps us get through things, and a lot of times when we hear our favorite songs, those songs evoke emotions and can touch people. Even if someone wasn't writing the song about us, you feel like, oh, they wrote that song for me.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, that's a good song and touch somebody's heart. Then
Right.
You got
absolutely.
a good song. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. Awesome. How about we hear another song?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
I guess that's a good segue. So this next song is called "The Low Road,"
Okay.
and yeah, it's a deeply personal, and at the same time, a lot of people don't necessarily understand that it's actually literal, because it was when my wife and I first moved up here from Tennessee. You know, there were a new place and all this kind of stuff. So this is a song about an argument, right? Yeah, just listen to the lyrics.
But you
I
wanted
was going
to
to ask you
force-
some questions about
Well,
that. Now let's see
just-
what he says. Yeah.
Yeah. You just gotta listen to the lyrics but understand that it sounds metaphorical, but it's literal.
Okay.
We're guessing if you wrote
Okay.
a song about an argument, you didn't win it.
Oh, of course. I was always wrong. You were always right. It's in the lyric.
Yeah,
It's in there.
makes sense.
Okay.
Kick it.
Yeah. Does it feel better, baby, since you turned your back on me? Sometimes sorry is all that I can be. Do you feel like a woman called you? You kept all of your pride. Well, I was always wrong, but you were always right. I tried to put it into words, but you just said I talk too much. I give you love and affection, but you don't want my touch. Well, I tried to get you off my mind, tried to turn my head around. And I'm too close to let you go. I can't turn away from you now, because I still feel your heartbeat sometimes. I still feel your body, sweet and warm next to mine. Tell me what I have to say, tell me what I have to do. I can take the low road takes me back to you. Smell sweet obsession, baby, with every breath I take, and I can still feel every single move you make. Turn around, woman, talk to me. Ooh, I wanna show you I'm the man that you want me to be, because I still feel your heartbeat sometimes. too much. Give you love and affection, but you don't want my touch. Try to get you off of my, try to turn my head around. I'm too close to let you go. I can't turn away from you now because I still feel your heartbeat sometimes. I still feel your body sweet and warm next to mine. Tell me what I have to say, tell me what I have to do. I can take the low road if the low road takes me back to you. I can take the low road if the low road takes me back to you. I can take the low road if the low road takes me back to you.
Well, sometimes good songs come from experience. You have twins, right?
Yes, it's true.
6 years
6
old?
years
Okay.
old.
Now, are they into the music?
They are starting to sing.
Ooh.
Yes,
Daddy's
they're
happy.
Actually, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. They're in their elementary school. Just started a choir. It's kind of interesting. They go to Keller Elementary School in Royal Oak. It's an international baccalaureate school.
Okay.
And just a really great program there. Good teachers and fantastic teachers and principal. And so a couple of the older students went to the music teacher and said, we want to do something different. We want to start a choir. And so the teacher let them organize it. They did auditions.
Nice.
My kids were kindergarten when they tried out, and they are in now and starting to enjoy it. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So, they have guitars, and when I bought them amps, they were more interested in playing with the box that the amps came in than actually playing the guitars. But they're banging on the piano a little bit.
Okay.
They like to play my beat thing, my drum machine. So we're good. They're always in the studio, trying to get on the microphone and all that. So
boys or girls? I don't.
boy and a girl,
Boy and a
Miles
girl,
and
okay.
Maya. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And you're beaming.
Yeah, they're cool. They're fun
Very
people.
cool. You wrote. I saw this quote on one of your social medias. I think it says, "Easier to get your music out there, harder to be heard." So, curious how you've overcome that. What's your? You did say that it was on your.
I did. That sounds like something I would say, doesn't it? Have we overcome that yet? I don't know. It's there's so much music out there now.
Yes.
It's become. I mean, everybody can put a record out, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. I have a recording studio in my house that rivals recording studio. The Beatles had 4 tracks, right? And
Yeah.
I can do so many more things, but how do you then set yourself apart from everybody else who is putting out music, and how do you do something that is both different but also likable enough that people want to come and see you? And so
Right,
those
right.
are the
That's the $64,000 question.
It is, isn't it?
Have you? But you haven't got the actual.
I haven't quite figured that out yet. I mean, we're working on it, obviously, and we're, we have help from a lot of great people. Nancy Schoenhardt Ferris has just been fantastic help throughout my career, and so many other people, have helped us push things forward, and we have attained wonderful critical acclaim, and are still looking for that commercial success. But
you're on the right path. Obviously.
yeah, and I think the other thing for me is defining what success means to me. And for me, it's raising my kids, it's working with people that I love, and I do get to do. I'm living the dream. I really am. I just got back from China.
I saw
I
that.
do some consulting. So I've changed. I don't necessarily have the dream of being Mick Jagger anymore. I gave that up at some point.
Okay.
But I am living the life that I want to live, you know, and,
Okay.
and there's, I can't complain at all about that. Things are great.
Did you actually do performances in China or just the consulting?
We did a little bit of performing at a trade show. Alicia went with us this year,
Okay.
and we went to a trade show. But mostly I'm there. I work for a company called Icon Pro Audio, and selling music technology. And it's a Hong Kong based company, and we're using one of their microphones right now. And you know, so that's a cool, if you're gonna have a day gig,
Yeah.
that's a cool day gig,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's one of my clients, and yeah, I think it's great. I get to travel and do some cool things and introduce some cool products to people and friends all over the world. I'm not complaining at all.
With that said, you know, all the different things. I think we just kind of touched on
Lot of
on
them.
all the different things. Yeah. So I heard that they're putting a documentary out about you. Is that true?
That's something like that. Something like that. We are in the process of producing a concert film / documentary.
Okay.
That we've been working on for a while. And so yeah, that's happening. A gentleman named Carl Kingson, who's a fantastic filmmaker, director, is working with us, and we're about to go and shoot that at Steve's secret lair. He doesn't want us to advertise the secret lair, but we're going to do that at his secret hideout.
Okay.
And, so yeah, so look
That's
for that
cool.
in 2020.
Okay.
That's what's on the horizon for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. I mean, why not? You've got so many things going, and why not put it all together? And
Sure.
kind of this is what we're all about.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what we're all about, and you know, maybe people will see it and say, hey, I want to go see those guys, and
Yeah.
maybe those will get some more zeros on the ends of the checks. That's what we're looking for.
And put like you've got 15, I think, Detroit Music Awards. Make sure they're in the background. So think, hey, this guy's got some awards.
Something, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Very cool. So I'm going to jump to the Pam exam.
Uh-oh.
Just some random questions. You may have answered some of these.
Cool,
But
okay.
yeah, and not everyone's on a microphone, but these are geared towards you. But if someone has a really a good answer they really want to shout out, feel
Okay.
free. So, all right. If time and money didn't matter, what would you be doing?
Exactly what I'm doing right now.
Only need one mic for that.
Any special holiday traditions? We're getting into the holiday season here.
Thanks. Yeah, we haven't done Festivus in a while.
Festivus.
We haven't done Festivus in a while.
And it's a darn shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame.
I'm
We used
sorry,
to
I don't
do-
know what Festivus is.
We used to do a party called Festivus for the rest of us with a friend of ours. So you're familiar with Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Okay, so oh man, it's been so long. George's family celebrated Festivus.
Oh.
Okay. And it was a Festivus is for the rest of us, for those of us who don't necessarily do Christmas, don't necessarily do Hanukkah or whatever. So it was just a holiday party.
Okay.
That's a holiday party, and the Festivus parties were legendary.
They were feasts.
Legendary.
And they would make chili.
Everybody would
It was
bring. It was a
delicious.
potluck, and there's chili. And one year we had homemade Indian food, and like just
and a jam session.
yeah, and we always had a jam session, and it was
fun.
so much fun. But life happens, and we haven't had one in a long time.
It's time to bring it back.
It's probably time to bring Festivus back. We could potentially do Festivus. Lauren and Spooner and I play. Well, Chris, you don't know who Spooner is because I introduced him as Chris. Chris Spooner.
How you doing?
We play a trio gig at Vinoteca, which is a wine bar in Birmingham. So we'll be there on December 13th. So maybe that'll be a Festivus party.
A mini.
We could
Festivus.
do that. Mini festival. Well, we'll
There
do
you
the
go.
film afterward. Yeah,
Yes.
we're doing the film after that. But yes,
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
Lions, Tigers, Pistons, or Red Wings?
That was enough right there.
Okay, all right. This is bad. I'm boycotting the Lions at this moment. I'm boycotting the Lions at this moment. It was the Kaepernick thing. It was the Neil thing. the whole thing. I haven't watched an NFL game in a couple of years.
Okay.
It's rough. It's rough. Pistons are just starting up. I haven't had time to really watch a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of sports.
But do you have a favorite though?
I have a favorite. It was the Lions, but
okay.
now
All
I guess
right.
it's the Pistons. Yeah.
On hold.
Yeah.
Do you have a ritual before a performance?
Yeah, I actually.
She keeps laughing at everything I'm
I
asking.
know, she's laughing at all this stuff. I do, but I never get to do it. I actually I actually like to disappear and go and get in a quiet space, and I just meditate and I just visualize the show, and I'm just thinking about all of these things. But I'm always, you got to shake hands and you got to kiss babies and all that stuff. So I never really get to do.
Are you a politician or something?
Well, I mean, it's just part of it.
Okay.
So I don't get to do my pre-show ritual as much as I would like to.
Okay.
So that's one of those things.
Well, it's out there now, people, that
Yeah.
leave him alone,
Leave me alone.
before he goes on stage.
Somebody else check my mic and my guitar.
Don't bring your babies to the show.
If you could have any one person in your band, and could be dead or alive at this point, who would that be or collaborate with? I know you have a great band, but
We have a great band.
you have room over here for one more. Who would that be?
The temptation is to say Prince, because Prince is like, my idol for sure. But I just feel like you'd be. Can I curse? Am I allowed to curse? I didn't know. I forgot to ask before.
Well,
Am I
we
allowed?
are on our HD.
Oh yeah, we're on
Open
HD.
C
So okay,
channel, so-
I just get the feeling Prince would just be a jerk.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Supposedly he mellowed out like later, but I don't know. I never quite wanted to meet him. There was a point when I was on tour with a band called Me Fi Me, and we played when he had the club Glam Slam in Minneapolis.
Uh-huh.
We played there, and we were all like, "Is Prince going to be at the show? Oh, Prince is going to be at the show," And we never saw him. He never introduced himself. But we're leaving in the tour bus after the show, and the famous canary yellow BMW comes and flies in front of us and like sits in front of us and zooms away. We're like, "Oh, that's so cool! That's so cool! It was Prince. Prince was here, But
It was Prince's middle finger.
exactly. Exactly.
Perfect manicure.
But Michelle and Cello, I would love to work with Michelle and Cello. That would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Superpower. To bring people together. I think if I have a superpower, that's what I want it to be.
Okay.
That's what I tell myself that it is, and I think that there's so much division and strife and fighting and all that, and we just need to
Sorry.
we need to come together as a species
Uh-huh.
and make this place a better place before it goes before we go the way of the dinosaurs.
What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Do it. Do it. Stop thinking about it and just do it. Just do it. Yes.
And you've changed that. I mean, have you
I try
taken
every
that-
day
okay.
to take that advice.
your own advice?
Every day I try to take
Gets
my
you
own
up in the
advice.
morning, huh?
That it does. It does get me up in the morning.
How about your most memorable music moment?
Oh man, most memorable. music
Yes,
moment.
I'm sure
Oh,
you've
there's
had
so
plenty.
many.
I know.
There's so many. I think the one moment that gave me the most confidence and joy as a musician was playing at the Ziget Festival in Budapest, Hungary,
Oh.
by myself. So I was solo for a couple of songs, and then some other guys got up and joined me when I was over there performing. And to play in front of thousands of people who may or may not have understood what I was talking about. And I played a song that I wrote called Guantanamo. And it just seemed like they got it, and that gave me more confidence and, hey, maybe I'm on the right path, than anything else that I've ever done.
And how many years ago was it?
That was millions of years ago. Yeah. No. That
I mean,
was,
early in your career.
No, that was 06, 07,
Oh, okay.
06, 07, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
It's fun, and it's really cool that you travel all over and play your music everywhere. So,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's got to be a great
That's
feeling.
what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
I'm living the dream. I don't,
You are.
I don't need a canary yellow.
I'll take one.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad, but
Give you that.
Do you have a sports car?
no.
You have twins.
But I
right?
have a great car though. I have a great American
She's
car.
snorting over there.
I have a fantastic American car. I'm very happy.
Do you have a system for writing a song?
A system? Not really.
Okay.
There's things that I do more often than not, but for the most part, the best songs are the ones that just kind of fall out of the sky, and then sometimes I'm just riding around for weeks, months, humming a melody, and something happens, and I figure it out eventually, So it happens always, all different ways.
Just whatever at that moment.
Yeah. Sometimes it's that moment, and sometimes it's a year later. I'm that guy.
Do you have a lot of songs that are not completed that are still, just kind of waiting?
Too many.
Too many?
I have too many of those songs. There's an album that these guys have been cussing me out about, that's like sitting on the floor that just needs to be,
But there is a Nadir strategy.
There's a
I'm going to
strategy.
share because he won't ever boast about himself.
Okay.
So, awesome strategy of writing. I had a brain fart of a song that was not completed. This is like
Was it a while?
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he had essentially told me, every song you have is in there. It just has to come out. And so he pushed me in a sound booth with the mic and was like, I don't want to hear any words. I just want to hear gibberish. And so it sounded like a vocal like a batches, right? And he's like, okay, what does that sound like? What are you trying to say? And now it's become everybody's favorite song. That's my original. So I feel like he does have act right. I feel like he does.
We play that song. Act right.
I feel like he does have, systems and strategies he uses for different things that
That's
he would
true.
never admit to. But yeah.
I would admit that. I would admit that.
You wouldn't give yourself
there's
the credit, though.
Well, that definitely is one of the techniques is to just
Lock someone in
sing-
a booth?
Lock somebody in a booth. Come out with a song. No. To say syllables. To come up with syllables, to sing the melody, try to figure out the melody. So and this is a common songwriting strategy that I've written with people like Maini. I've written with people like Jill Jack. This is what we do. We sit in the room and we just play the song back and forth, and we just start singing. Somebody comes up with a word or somebody has a phrase, and then we just kind of say gibberish, and then all of a sudden you start bouncing words out that sound like the gibberish that you were just saying.
Interesting.
That's kind of the technique. And so because then you're going for a song that sounds like the melody that you're hearing and sounds like so you're going for the sounds.
Yeah.
And you think about, then you find, okay, is there a word that fits those sounds? Okay, does it make sense? Now can I create a story around it? And that is one of the if there's a system I use, there is that.
Interesting.
Yes.
I like that. Huh.
Yeah.
I've never written a song, so I don't know.
Well,
but
we
that's,
We do songwriting workshops as well. If you'd like to book us for a songwriting workshop, we can all do it together. Debut it on the show.
I'm not going to start doing gibberish, Robert. Oh, gosh. Okay. We need another song.
Okay. Yes. So. All right. So I'm not allowed to curse, so I won't curse on this song. But we have the PG version. Oh, it's kind of PG-13. Yeah. So this song came from a phrase that a friend of mine said, and then it was one of those that was kind of laying around and had the chorus for a long time, and then worked with good friend of mine named Revis Mitchell, who's one of my friends from Nashville, and helped me to finish this. So we finished this one, and let me make sure that I am in drop D. And so this is called The Right Kind of Crazy. She got a body like a high-speed bullet train. High-tech freak sex gets so insane. Seems so good, my bones fire. And I really couldn't get any higher. She might be out of her mind, but she's the right kind of crazy. Out of her mind, but she's the right kind of crazy. I get withdrawals cause I can't get her off of my brain. I try to kick but I just can't stand the pain. When we hit it then we're up till the morning. And a hot brain soothes the calling. She might be out of her mind but she's the right kind of crazy. She's out of her mind but she's the right kind of crazy. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh She went to church and they told her she was going to hell. She called me up and said, baby, will you drive me there? We on the road to total destruction, but I just can't stand the suction. She might be out of her mind, but she's the right kind of crazy. She's out of her mind, but she's the right kind of crazy. She's the right kind.
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 She's the right kind. She's the right kind. She's the right
Whew, party going on in MusicTown.
Just one of our ballads.
Oh,
That's how we do.
It's a couple scheme.
That's how we do.
I'm going on with your amp. Just want to make sure that everyone knows how to find you in
Yes.
case so people can follow you and go check out where you're playing, all of that.
Absolutely. So, NadirOmowale.com. NadirOmowale.com. Instagram, Nadir Omowale. Facebook, Nadir Omowale. YouTube, J. Nadir Omowale. Sorry. YouTube. Where else? Twitter, Nadir Omowale.
Okay.
All of the above.
Snapchat.
No, I don't have. I downloaded TikTok. You know about TikTok?
No, but I could.
You
use
heard
it.
of TikTok? I downloaded it. I haven't done anything with it
Is
yet, but
that new?
TikTok is kind of like a cross between Snapchat and Instagram
Oh,
with
okay.
in Instagram stories,
Okay.
and it's I don't know, it's a little weird.
So
I don't-
TikTok, you got 2 seconds to get your thing on there before it's
Yeah,
gone or something.
That's kind of the thing, and I don't understand it yet, so I haven't uploaded anything,
Oh, okay.
but it's on my phone.
Interesting.
So we'll see.
Well, you can find him. I mean, even if if you just put in Nadir, Nadir, you can find
Well,
him.
if you put in Nadir, you're gonna run into like there's a death metal band from New Zealand.
Oh, that's right.
And there's like a traditional Japanese group or whatever. But if you put in Nadir Omowale, Omowale, you will find it.
Okay, awesome. This has been fun. Thank you guys for coming in and
it's been awesome.
playing your music and sharing some cool stories. And I think we found some new stuff out about you, delved into a little deeper there. So always fun. So again, thank you so much. Just go around again the names of everybody. And
Yes. This is Alicia Nicole on keyboards. This is Steve Caldwell on guitar. Lauren Johnson on the drums. Christopher Spooner on the bass. The Simone Winter Experience on vocals and dancing.
And dancing, yes. Great stuff. Thank you guys. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much, Nadir.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And thanks to all of you out there watching on the wide web. We appreciate you tuning in again for another edition of Behind the Mic in our beautiful MusicTown studios here in Hockeytown in downtown Detroit. I'm Pam Rossi. Have a great week.